Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's lesson, we will solve exercise 5, step by step. This part may look complex, but together we will analyze it, find symmetry axes, and model it using professional techniques like solid combine, pocket, mirror, and advanced sketch constraints. Let's start.
I was dreaming in my sleep, now wide awake. With CATIA by my side, there's no mistake. Always had a wish to create and design. Now I'm building futures one line at a time. Could sketch a ship or design a plane. With CATIA, every dream I can sustain. Stay with me, I'll show you how it's done. Our journey to the stars has just begun. Dreams with CATIA come alive, stay tuned. In a world of possibilities, our talents bloomed. From the sketch pad to reality, watch us soar. With every click and curve, we crave for more. From the smallest bolt to towering steel, with CATIA, our thoughts become real. Together we'll create one.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to do this exercise together. The shape looks a little complex, but first let's analyze it together. First we look for symmetry points and symmetry axes. Look at the top view. There is one axis of symmetry and it is also cut in section AA. You can see a circle with a diameter of 43 millimeters in this view. I choose the center of the circle as the origin of the coordinate system. To create the 3D model using the solid combine tool is the best method. You can see how useful and practical this tool is. I enter the sketcher using the XY plane. I draw the outer profile of the top view. Here you must pay attention that you should only draw the outer boundary of the view. I show the dimensions used for this feature with the mouse. First, I draw 3 axes and construction lines to have a better view while sketching. I also draw the circle with a diameter of 43 millimeters as a reference and set it as construction. Now I draw 2 circles with a radius of 35 millimeters. The distance from the center of the circles to the vertical line is 100 millimeters. The distance from the center of the circles to the horizontal line is 40 millimeters. At the origin, I create an arc with a radius of 35 millimeters. I activate the bitangent line tool. I draw two lines, each tangent to the 35 mm radius circle and the 35 mm radius arc. I activate the 3-point arc command. I draw an arc with a radius of 200 millimeters. I make its two ends symmetric to the vertical axis. I make the arc tangent to the two circles with a radius of 35 millimeters. I activate the quick trim tool and trim the extra parts. Now the first shape is drawn and fully constrained. I go back to the part design environment. Using the Z X-plane, I enter the sketcher. I draw the outer profile of the side view. Wherever needed, I hold the Shift key so that no constraint is created. I apply the dimensions and constraints. First, I apply the symmetry constraints. If during dimensioning a dimension becomes purple, I cancel it. At each step, I check the movement of the shape with the mouse. At the last step, I apply the fillets. The shape is fully constrained and green. I return to the part design environment. I make sure that no sketch is active. I activate the Solid Combine tool. I select the two sketches. I click OK in the settings window of this tool. The shape is created. You can see how important the Solid Combine tool is. Now first I create two holes with a diameter of 50 millimeters. I mirror the first hole. Here you can see why choosing the correct symmetry axis is important. Using the XY plane, I enter the sketcher. I draw a circle. The diameter of the circle is 24 millimeters and its center is at the origin. Pay attention to where the original selected origin was located. I return to the part design environment and pocket it. Now I draw two holes with diameters of 43 millimeters and 50 millimeters and depths of 5 millimeters and 11 millimeters. These circles are concentric with the 24 millimeters hole. Pay attention that the bottom of the holes is flat. Now I create two side holes. The dimensions must be taken from the drawing. I activate the hole command. After setting the hole properties, I enter the sketcher using the sketch tool. I dimension the coordinates of the hole center. The hole with its edge is created. I mirror the first hole. Now I draw two holes with a diameter of 10.5 millimeters. Using the top surface of the part, I enter the sketcher and draw a circle with a diameter of 10.5 millimeters. If you look at the drawing, you can see that under this hole there is also a bigger hole. The diameter of the hole is 22 millimeters and its depth is 28 millimeters. I position the circle. I return to the part design and pocket the circle. First, I create a point. With its help, I create a horizontal plane from the center of the first hole. Using that plane, I enter the sketcher. I draw a circle with a diameter of 22 millimeters. I make it concentric with the first hole. I return to part design. Using the pocket tool, I pocket it. Pay attention that I pocket from both sides. I mirror each created hole. Now I want to create the slots on the part. By selecting the proper surface, I enter the sketcher. First, I draw a point at the center of 50 millimeters hole. From this point, I draw two construction lines. One is horizontal and the other has a 22 degrees angle to it. Now on the inclined construction line, I draw a circle with a diameter of 3 millimeters. I set the distance from the circle center to the created point as 48 millimeters. Now I draw two lines parallel to the inclined construction line with a distance of 3 millimeters from each other. I make the two lines symmetric to the inclined construction line. The two lines are tangent to the circle. With the quick trim tool, I remove the extra parts. I connect the ends of the two lines with another line. I return to part design. I pocket the created shape and then mirror it. Two slots are created. On the part there is a bean-shaped hole. The outer edge of this hole is at a radius of 207 millimeters. I consider the distance from the hole to the edge of the part as 7 millimeters. Using the top surface, I enter the sketcher and draw a bean-shaped hole. I complete the dimensions and constraints. I return to part design and pocket the sketch. The shape is created. Now it is time for the semi-bean shape feature. The shape has a special form. I check its dimensions and position on the drawing. Using the top surface, I enter the sketcher. Outside the part, first I draw a general shape. I start dimensioning. I delete extra constraints. I apply fillets to the four corners. With the mouse, I move the shape to the required position. I apply the position dimensions. I return to part design. I pocket the sketch. Now I mirror the created hole. The last part is creating two circular recesses. Pay attention that this recess is concentric with the 50 mm circle. Also, the recess is in the form of a semicircle. Since I selected the XY plane as the bottom of the part, I must create a plane at a height of 7.5 mm and parallel to it. Using this plane, I enter the sketcher. I create a point at the center of 50 mm circle. I draw two circles, one with a radius of 33 mm and the other larger than 35 mm. Both circles are concentric. I draw a vertical line to cut the two circles. I trim the extra parts. I return to part design. I pocket the sketch. Now the shape is complete. At the end, I create the fillets and two chamfers. Well, today's exercise is finished here. I hope you enjoyed this exercise. Please watch the exercise only the first time. The second time, draw it from your memory. Good luck, goodbye until the next exercise.
Let's build the future. Come with me.